Hey folks, Tom Norfleet with www.citizenshipquickly.com. Wanted to talk to you about getting permanent residency and citizenship in Belize. This is a country I've been to many times in the past, and it's a beautiful country. It's not for everybody, but it's a great place if you want to get easy citizenship. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about living and retiring in Belize. When you arrive in Belize, you're granted a 30-day visa. This applies to all visitors across the board. This same visa can be renewed for up to 6 months at any immigration office. The cost is around $12.50 US, and this is done actually per month that you'll go back and get this done. If you want to stay beyond the initial 6 months, then you'll be required to apply for a work permit. Let's talk about permanent residency in Belize. Some may desire permanent residence in Belize. The first requirement for this status is that you have stayed in the country continuously for 1 year. The exceptions to this are retirees who have a regular income source and professional or skilled people, or investors with at least $25,000 in hard currency ready to invest in Belize. Persons who are retiring, professional, skilled, and investing can pretty much get the permanent residency card as soon as they arrive. Once you've been a permanent resident in Belize for 5 years or more, you can apply for Belizean citizenship. The fee is $150 US. It's the third process requiring medical tests, up-to-date police records, and an interview. It can take years to actually get the citizenship. It's really a question of how long, when you do this residency by investment, exactly how long it's going to take. I'm going to give you some scenarios about the approximation here, but it really can be it can be anywhere from 6 to 15 years, really. Once you have the citizenship, you get the benefits of Belize's CARICOM membership. This means that you can move freely through, live, and work in the Caribbean member countries. You can get your citizenship application from the Department of Immigration and Nationality Services. The fee to apply for permanent residency fee is $100 US, and the deposit between $100 US and $1,200 US. It depends on the nationality of the applicant, and that it ranges. It just depends on what that is. But the deposit can be refunded 3 years after the date residency is actually granted. The residency application form can be submitted with 2 passport-size photographs of each family member. The photographs need to be signed by the Justice of the Peace, endorsed by the submitters. There is a program called the Belize Retired Persons Program. The Belize Retired Persons Program makes a way for citizens in the United States, Canada, and the UK to retire in Belize with residency provided they can prove a pension of at least $1,000 US a month. If the income is from other sources outside of Belize, it must be at least $2,000 US per month. This program is not necessarily only for retirees. You can actually be an artist, a writer, or photographer, and set up an office in Belize and qualify for residency this way also. As long as the work that you do is not sold in Belize, you can operate a tax-free business and get permanent residency in Belize. Residency is especially appealing to those looking to stretch their pension dollars, as the money will go a long way in Belize. It's a pretty inexpensive place to actually live. Modern Maturity Magazine rated Belize as one of the top 10 places to retire in the world. There are many reasons to consider living in Belize, whether it's to retire or just to escape a few months, out of the year on a year-by-year basis. Its diversity of natural attractions and laid-back lifestyles are only part of what makes Belize alluring. Belize does offer one of the best retirement programs actually in the world. Maybe you've heard of the Belize Qualified Retired Person Program. This is what I was just talking about, just to call it a different name. Despite the name, you needn't be retired. If you're at least 45 years old and you get a monthly income of at least $2,000 from a pension or annuity, including Social Security generated from outside Belize, you can qualify. This allows you to bring all your personal goods to Belize tax-free, and you pay no Belizean taxes on any foreign income. As of the 2nd of July 2019, Belizean citizens had visa-free or visa-free on arrival to 98 countries and territories, ranking the Belizean passport 55th overall and last among Central American countries in terms of travel. The GDP per capita is pretty low. It's $4,925 US. That was for 2019. Belize does offer dual citizenship. This is one positive. Citizenship is available for those permanent residents living in Belize for at least 5 years. To acquire citizenship, applicants must have been a resident or have been a permanent resident, had permanent residency status for a minimum of 5 years. After 5 years of residency, an application for citizenship can be submitted, and this is usually processed within 6 months. Note that the process can take up to a year or more. Also, a foreigner who marries a Belizean can apply for citizenship, and this is usually granted within 1 year. This, of course, means a real commitment, to Belize and its nationality. Once citizenship is granted, you're free to come and go as you wish, or even relocate permanently to any country you wish to live in. A foreigner who marries a Belizean automatically gains residency status. The education is somewhat good in Belize if your children go to a private school. The health care is not all that great, but if you have a real problem, you can go to Mexico and take one of these evacuee trips out of the, on a jet or plane going out. But if you've got a real serious problem that occurs, you could be in real problems. That is one problem with their healthcare system. Income tax in Belize. I want to talk to you about that. The income tax is charged at a rate of 25%. And for residents of Belize, the first $14,500 of their annual income is exempt. Pension income is also exempt. To qualify for residency, an individual must be present in Belize for 183 days or more during the calendar year. There's no graduated scale taxation like you got in the USA and many other countries that have the same sort of graduated scale like in Europe. Belize currently has no capital gains tax. Though Belizean tax law is far simpler than the U.S. tax code, always consult a knowledgeable attorney, especially if you spend more than 183 days in the country during a calendar year. Belize does have a territorial tax system in that you are taxed only on income made in Belize and not on income made or generated outside of Belize. Let me tell you a little bit about the IBCs, International Business Companies in Belize if you get one of these set up. Even if you are not what's called a QRP, which is, as I mentioned before, qualified retired person, the law allows you to avoid income tax altogether by transferring income and assets, though not real estate, into a Belizean international business company. Dividends to you from the IBC are not taxable. Real estate tax in Belize kind of works like this. Currently, right now, there's a property transfer tax at 5%, and attorney fees usually equal around 2%, including the miscellaneous expenses. The buyer usually pays around 12.5% for closing costs based on the total purchase price of the actual real estate. Property taxes in Belize are actually about like they are in the United States. Belize's property taxes vary, but are somewhere between 1 and 1.5% of the value of the undeveloped land. In Belize, property taxes outside cities are based on land rather than the developed value of the property to encourage development. Property taxes on homes and other developed land, even in cities, are low. For example, the property tax on a 4-bedroom U.S.-style home would likely be in the range of about $100 to $200 US a year. All right, now let me give you my evaluation of the residency program. The visa-free travel at only 98 countries and territories is fairly low, but it does have visa-free travel to the UK, and I think sometime in the near future the Schengen countries will follow, because so many countries in the Caribbean now have gotten that privilege to have visa-free to those countries. The drawback to Belize is the healthcare system, is not all that great, and the homicide rate is one of the highest in the world, but most of that is drug dealer killing another drug dealer. You don't usually have too much of that, too much homicides that are outside of, drug dealing. So if you're not involved with that, you shouldn't have any sort of problems there. If you're not peddling drugs, then you're safe. If you get involved with something like that, you could be in a lot of trouble. I do like the flexibility of investing 25,000 US dollars and getting permanent residency right away and not having to be there for the whole time and then later applying for citizenship. But the downside is Belize is a very slow country in getting things done. So being able to actually apply for the citizenship after 5 years of permanent residency and actually getting the passport are two different matters. The fact that Belize is an English-speaking country is very good because it alleviates a lot of stress from having to learn, a different foreign language. If you want to learn more on how to legally get your taxes to zero or close to zero, or to get like a second passport in as quick as 3 months, do three things. Hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, and you'll get new videos automatically as they come out. And number two is pull up YouTube and type in the search bar www.citizenshipquickly.com, and you'll actually pull up all of our videos that you can look at all together. Number three is if you want to become a client, go to www.citizenshipquickly.com and fill out our questionnaire and push the button on the screen to send that to us so we can actually help you get started. We deal with about 67 citizenship by investment countries by the fast track and also residency by investments. And I think you'd be interested in looking at all these different programs. Thanks for watching, and if we can help you, just submit a question in the comment section below, and we'll be glad to get back with you. Look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.